Alright, peace be upon you, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? Now, in today's video, I just want to speak about street preaching and calling people out in the name of God, calling to your society in the name of God, calling your society to worship the one true God, and just some tips or ideas or things I have in mind that I want you to keep stored within your brain so that if you ever do go out there to witness and call people unto the Lord, that you go out on the right foot with the right mindset, because there's a lot of pitfalls that can happen, and street preaching is a very delicate thing. If you do it, you gotta do it right. You gotta have the right reasons, the right mentality, and personally, I would honestly love it. I would love to see more people take Quran alone, God alone, street preaching out into the world. That is undoubtedly the Quranic mission. It's to call people to God. That's what all the messengers did. Oh my people, will you not be in prudent fear of God? Remember a day where a soul will not avail a soul anything. They're always calling people to the Lord, and I'd love to see more people do that. Unfortunately, Christianity has cornered this market of street preaching, and they do it in such an obnoxious way too, and they call people to idolatry. But to have real God alone street dawah out there, not people proselytizing for the Sunni religion, not people proselytizing for Christianity, but just Quran alone, God alone, Islam, that would be great. I would love to see that. But one thing I want you to keep in mind is you have to have, if you're going to do this, firstly, you need to be living the godly life. You need to be living the righteous life. You can't just do this while at the same time, let's say you're fornicating or you're watching pornography. Like, you got to have your life in check. You got to be a truly godly, moral man following the law of the Almighty. And without that, your message won't have any power, because you're coming fundamentally from a place of hypocrisy, not a place of consistency. And that spirit and sentiment from which you are proceeding, it will come through in your words and in the little gestures that you make, and your message won't have any power. So you have to have your life in order and be able to confidently say, I am a godly man. I am living a righteous and godly life. I'm not perfect, but I am living a godly life. And once you have that level of confidence, then you are qualified. You can start. Another thing I want you guys to keep in mind is you need to have the right intentions. Okay? So many people, especially this is big in the Christian world. The Christian world is so much about sensationalism and looking big and macho. So many people, they'll do it for attention. They want the eyes on them, and they want people to think like, oh wow, look at this amazing person, this martyr in the cause of God. He's so courageous. And sometimes that comes, people see you as courageous and godly, and that's okay, but you're not doing it for that reason. You're not doing it for the attention that comes with it, or the approbation. You're doing it fundamentally to spread the message of God. That's your main purpose. I know that's my purpose when I go out and street preach. I get it that some of you leave comments of thanks, thank you for the work that you do, Waleed, and very courageous, and you inspire me. And it's a beautiful thing. I love that, but I'm not doing it for that reason. My Lord absolutely knows 100% that I'm doing this just to call my society unto God. That is it. I want to see more and more people remember the Lord, and I want to be on the highest level I can possibly be in the eyes of my Lord. I'm not doing it for approbation or money. I don't receive any money. I do all this stuff for free. So you have to have the right intentions. Like, it's so easy to fall into the trap with street preaching of doing it for attention, because naturally there is attention involved in it. You need attention in order for people to hear your message. But if you're doing it for that reason, then again, your message won't have any power. Like, a classic example of somebody who does this for attention is David Lynn. Undoubtedly, he does this for attention and money. He makes over 6 figures doing this, being a warrior for God, so to speak. We can put aside the idolatry of Christianity or whatever, but just analyzing his archetype of how he goes about it. He does it to have the eyes on him, and he's deliberately, unnecessarily inflammatory in his message. He tries to piss people off. He tries to egg them on. And again, I get it, sometimes that happens, but you're not trying to do that. Like, You guys can see me when I'm out there street preaching. I'm not trying, I try to be very gentlemanly and kind and cordial and speak on a good level playing field. I'm not yelling at people with a microphone or anything like that. If people don't want to talk to me, I let them walk away. I invite people if they do. That's really it. But people like David Lynn, they're out there screaming at people with microphones, trying to cause up a rile. So then the police will come to them. Then they make sure, like, you'll see him, he'll check and see, is the cameraman watching? Does the cameraman have the camera on him? So then he can look like the persecuted martyr. Oh, they're persecuting me for the sake of Christ because I'm calling them to Christ and this and that. Like, again, you can see he's doing this for his own glorification, to look like a martyred man of God. I think I remember one time he even, what was it? It was like an altercation that one of the members of his church or one of his colleagues had with the Pride Parade. And I don't have a problem with preaching at Pride Parades, but again, you're not doing it to be inflammatory. You're doing it to warn and call people to God. But anyways, just talking about David Lynn as a little side rant, I remember the one time he did, like, one of his guys had an altercation with somebody at a Pride Parade, and in that area where the altercation was, and I know what he's doing, it's so disgusting. So that same beach or area, David Lynn called people, like after that whole altercation, he called out to people saying that he's going to do baptisms on that beach. I can't remember the name of that beach, but let's just call it Jackson Beach, right? He's saying that I'm going to do baptisms, so if you guys want to come out to Jackson Beach, then I'll do the baptisms for you. We'll get you baptized. And he deliberately, out of all the beaches, he picked that beach, Jackson Beach, because he knew that that's where one of his boys had an issue with the Sodomites, and one of the Sodomites ended up getting injured. So he knew that there was going to be a huge protest of them, that all of them that were going to gather there, the Sodomites, they were going to protest him, and then that there would be a big commotion, and it would again make David Lynn look like the martyr in the eyes of God. So like these guys, they were splashing water on David Lynn, these Sodomites, they were throwing stuff at him while he was baptizing people, and it made him look so holy and righteous and godly.
Has been a major cash cow for David Lynn and his antics, which is why he has continued to pull the exact same stunts again and again. But let's take a look at what he did just a year later. August 2020, David Lynn travels to Vancouver, Canada, and is met with protesters everywhere he goes, as he does his famous circle dance to rile things up even more. And it seems that everyone is onto his scheme, except Christians.
Agitating and igniting division, seemingly intentionally, wherever they go.
Once again, before we continue, we have to provide some more context, and to do that we have to reintroduce a key figure named Dawah Love. Before David Lynn's arrival, Dawah Love had decided to move from Toronto to Vancouver and station himself in the heart of their gay village, harassing them all summer long.
Residents have been complaining about all summer.
They are targeting the gay community in the heart of the gay village. They're trying to provoke a reaction, and passersby in this community are provoked.
But things get much worse, as a week before David Lynn's arrival, Dawah Love is arrested for breaking a man's leg who grabbed his microphone trying to stand up for the gay community. Something Dawah No Love pleaded guilty to a year later. But a week later, with tensions at their peak, David J. Lynn decided that it was the best time to show up in the same city, street preach, and publicly announce a baptism at a beach near the gay village where the assault took place. The result was premeditated, as he knew that there would be a protest similar to the days before, but more so because this was near the gay village. Which is why news outlets showed up beforehand to ask him a simple question.
Why do you have to baptize
I'm
here?
asking.
Why do you have to baptize
Because
at this
I'm in
location?
Vancouver.
There's a lot of other locations that you can baptize at.
Where? Where? If you can tell me, I would gladly go. I would gladly go to any beach that's nearby. Can you tell me one?
How about here? Or here? Or here? Or here? Or here? Or here? Or even here? But there is no way that David Lynn is going to leave because he is not interested in baptizing people he has never met before and has zero intention of discipling or ever seeing again. He has an angry and triggered crowd, news cameras, police, and a golden opportunity to make millions from playing the victim. Even if it means ruining these innocent people's baptisms and putting their safety at risk, David Lynn will not relocate because this is the exact reason he is here.
Yeah, so once we get down there, you'll...
Okay, that's assault. Just got assaulted. Assault number 1. Those guys... Assault. That's assault number 2.
He knows that he has to go through this angry crowd who knows what he did to the gay community in Toronto and are triggered at what his disciple did a week earlier, because he knows he will get some juicy victim content and capture an amazing money shot that he can use as evidence of being persecuted for his faith, when this crowd could care less about his faith and are not angry at him because of the gospel, but because he targets them as he is doing now for clicks, financial gain, and status. And he was successful in getting a lot of attention from people convinced of his persecution from out-of-context clips that David Lynn is suffering a cost from these encounters, which must be proof that he really loves God.
So it's clear that he loves the Lord. You know, I always tell people, like, what does your faith cost you? You know, anybody, we can be a Christian inside the 4 walls of the church. You know, we can sit there and you know, praise and go through the motions, but what does your faith ever really cost you?
What these people don't know is that there is no cost to David Lynn, who as the days before suffered no harm as he was escorted by police to a getaway vehicle, safely driving off as he left behind his crew and those he baptized to be chased by an angry mob.
Godly. And out of all the beaches he picked to do a baptism, he picked that one because he knew there would be a commotion there. Now I get it, if you're going specifically to witness to the sodomites, you want to call them to God and warn them, then you have a reason to be there. But if you're doing a baptism, the purpose is not to have a commotion, it's to do a baptism or whatever else you're doing. And he picked that spot again to get the highlight on him. And he's a perfect example, and there are many Christians like this who pick spots and areas for the attention. So what you need to do if you're going to go out and call people to God, check your heart. Do some deep soul searching. Why are you doing this? And if you have the right reasons, then the Lord will be with you. He will guide you. He will guide your tongue to say the right thing. He will guide your body to do the right thing in the right moment. He will protect you. But if you're going out there to look like a godly martyr, then you're not serving the kingdom of heaven, but you're serving your own selfish desires. So attention and these things, they come with it, but it's not what you're seeking after. So keep those things in mind. But intention is key, because with the intention, it's like, think of 2 men. One man who's celibate because he's doing it to honor God and to stay away from fornication, and another man who's celibate because women just genuinely don't find him interesting. He doesn't take care of himself. He's fat. He eats like crap. He doesn't carry himself in a respectable manner, and women are just not interested. Both of them are engaging in the activity of celibacy. They're not laying with women, but the intention makes it all, that makes the world of difference between the two. The one man is receiving the benefits in the eyes of God by remaining celibate. The other one has no benefit whatsoever, even though both of them, again, they're not laying with the woman. It's excuse me, it's the intention that makes all the difference. So it's the same thing with your street preaching. The reason you go out there, the man you are, the character you have, and the reason you are going out there is going to define the character and color and tenor and polarity of your mission. And it is going to define whether God will truly be with you to protect you out there or not. So, like I said, just do that deep inner soul searching, find yourself, know yourself, and go out there. Let's spread this powerful word of the Quran far and wide. I think there needs to be more Quran alone Dawah on the streets, and let's try to build communities in our own localities. And understand that even if you fulfill all of the things which I'm telling you to do, so you live a righteous life and you're doing it for the right reasons, you're doing it to honor the Lord and spread the message and not for your own glorification, you still will be maligned by people. People will still accuse you. I get it to this day. People say, Waleed, you're doing this for attention, and oh, you're being self-righteous and whatnot. And For all the real ones out there who watch my channel, you guys know why I'm doing this. You guys know my reasons. And for all those who are accusing me, all I can say is I can't wait to see you on Judgment Day, because the Lord knows my heart. But intention is key, the reason why you're doing things. And even if you have good intentions, people will malign you. They malign the messengers and the prophets in the past as well. Oh, Moses, you only seek to be a tyrant in the land. Oh, Moses, do you take us in God commands you to sacrifice a cow. Oh, do you take us in mockery? And he says, no, I seek refuge in God, lest I be of the ignorant. And this is how it's going to be. This is we're not doing this to be loved. We're not doing this to have approbation. We're doing this really to be loved by God at the essence of our mission. We're doing this to seek the approval of the Almighty, and understand that even if you're blameless on certain things, that you will get maligned and taken down, and that's just the way it is. That's the path. That's how we're going to walk it. And just always remember as well, when you go into it, pray to the Almighty for protection, that He guide you, that He keep you safe, and do it for the rewards of heaven, not for the approbations of men. And don't do it for fun either, because I get it, street preaching can be very exhilarating, very exciting. It can be I don't want to say fun, but it is engaging. It's very rewarding. It's a very rewarding thing to do. You're calling people to the Almighty. You're carrying out the Quranic mission, which is undoubtedly a public, vocal mission, the Quranic mission. But you're not doing it for the entertainment and thrill that might come from it. You're doing it again to call people to the Lord. But it is very rewarding. So just, like I said, search your soul deep and ask God for guidance, and study the Quran well. Know what you're saying. Familiarize yourself with the basic arguments that people make, the most common positions you'll come across. So Christians and Hadithans, atheists, secular, kafir people, just all different kinds. Familiarize yourself with them, and just pick up the gauntlet. I want to see you guys the reason I put these videos out and record myself street preaching is not to, I've made it clear, it's not to seek my glorification. It's not to be inflammatory. You guys can tell by my personality, I'm not doing it for that. The only reason I put these out there is because I want to inspire other people to do that as well, to see, hey, Waleed is just a regular guy. He works a regular job, just a regular dude who's out there doing this. I can do this too. I can call people to God as well. I can live out the Quranic mission as well. Like right now, I'm coming home from work right now as I'm recording this video. I'm just a regular person. You guys can do it too. And that's why I put it out there, so you guys can see an example, know how to make the arguments, and hopefully be inspired to walk down this path yourself, because it is a beautiful path. And like I said, the Quranic mission is a public and vocal mission. We need to start getting out there in our communities and talking to people. You can do street preaching, you can be in front of a mosque, you can be in front of a church, you can talk to people at your workplace, but we need to go out there. I've gotten so many, most people obviously reject naturally, but I've gotten many people who listen to the message dearly and sincerely, and it's amazing. It's amazing. People at my work, and people out in the streets, and people even at the mosques when I go there, people at the churches, people who are ready to listen to my message, which is just the message of God. And we want to, if you guys want community, I know a lot of you complain about not having community, not having people around you, not knowing what to do. Well, if you're not having community, then the best thing to do is to try to make one yourself, if you know what I mean. Call people and see who God brings your way. And if nobody comes, then that's no issue. You can always you're just delivering the warning then, and now these people are accountable, and the destruction and punishment of God will be binding on them. And one more thing, I know this video is a little bit of a scattershot of ideas. I don't have any notes. I'm just thinking of things on top of my head. But one thing I want you to keep in mind as well is if you're getting an inflammatory response from people, that you need to hold your ground and just have no fear. Understand that the Almighty is protecting you and that God is with you. Even if you're not seeking it out, sometimes you'll get it. It is unavoidable. People even if you try to be polite and kind with them, some people are just offended by the truth in and of itself. The truth in its essence offends them, and you're going to deal with such people. And just hold your ground, stay firm, and remember God in everything that you do. Stay close, stay faithful, be strong in prayer, strong in reading the Quran, and God will guide you. God will guide you. And I really pray for the best for you if you go out there and decide to take up this work for yourself, because the rewards are great. The rewards are great, and this life is short, and we want to make the best investments for eternity. And that's one of the greatest investments you can do, calling out to your society to come to God. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's really all I got to say on the matter. I hope this talk was a blessing. And yeah, peace to you. Remember, deceit abounds, so keep your eyes wide open. Peace out.